eventually that child will integrate into their belief system whatever it is that you're telling them.
Sure.
With time. And so it works the same way. It's sort of like you're reparenting yourself in that way. And so by giving yourself a new, positive, consistent message, and you uplift that emotional process at the same time, that way, by reparenting consistently, people will integrate into their belief system and therefore draw into their life what it is that they're desiring.
And to create the possibility that it can come true.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. On a positive note. And
Yes.
I know that parenting has changed quite dramatically from when I was being raised and to now. You know, it's always giving them good positive things every day on a daily basis.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. And when we talk about reparenting, I also talk with people about, so they'll ask, you know, how do I do that? Or what do I say? You know, if I'm desiring something in my life, how do I say it? And so we'll talk about, think of positive affirmations. So they can be statements that you say, whether it's about yourself, that I am loved, I have value, I'm always supported. Positive statements like that, I'm always financially supported by the universe. You don't have to know where financial support will come from or what it looks like. It's just giving yourself that positive message. And it's the same with other things in your life. I desire to be supported by all people in my life, and I am worthy of love, or I love myself, you know, things like that.
Wow. It sounds really fantastic to be able to come in and talk with you about a lot of personal things. And, you know.
Yeah, and I find that people feel much better when they leave my office, but I also tell them that they have to practice, you know, at home. It isn't that they come in for one session a week and that's going to change their life.
Right. What is it, 1 hour out of so many guests?
Right. Yeah, it's really up to them to do the work to incorporate. It's really incorporating a different way of being in the world, a different way of thinking about yourself and your life, different beliefs that you have. And all of that is what the law of attraction is, that is then what you will manifest in your life because that's where your focus is. That's what you're thinking about.
Great way to focus on yourself in a positive way.
Yes.
It sounds like you're giving a lot to people from your practice too.
Yeah, and I love it. You know, I think that every person who comes to see me is perfect and perfectly whole, and you know, I want to support them in them believing that and them feeling that way about themselves, and then the possibility of what they can have in their life or what they can experience or how they can feel in their life.
It's so amazing how others look at us, you know, and they look at us in a whole different way that we look at ourselves. We are our worst critic.
Absolutely.
And we always seem to have a tendency to not be good enough, not smart enough, not, you know, anything good enough to, oh, I don't deserve that. But yet in reality you do.
Yes, yeah. And that's, I think, something that if people are having a hard time coming up with positive affirmations, to think about all of those things that you had just said. So to think about what they're saying to themselves. I'm not good enough. So-and-so is better than me. I'm not worthy. I don't deserve this. And then just take those statements and then reshape them or reframe them into the positive.
Right.
And so, you know, they can actually practice on a sheet of paper, okay, here's what you're saying about yourself, and here's what you want to say about yourself, and to look at the contrast.
Does the law of attraction work in all areas of life then?
It does. It does. It's everything we think about. So it's work, it's relationships, it's finances, it's how we treat each other, it's everything. I was going to mention also that there's also some specific exercises that people can practice if they really want to raise their vibration and then manifest different things, more positive things in their life. One of them, and you maybe have heard this term before, but one thing that people can do is a vision board.
Okay.
And so it's actually, think of a collage that they can create pictures from a magazine, or they can draw something where they're putting together a vision board that's something that they physically can look at, that's what they want in their life. So these are the different things, work, relationships, finances, things like that, that they want in their life. And every day to look at that vision board and feel what it would feel like if you had that already in your life, so that it isn't, you're not envisioning it this far away, you're feeling it like it's already happened.
Sure.
Another exercise that they can practice is similar to that, except it's just a visualization. So I tell people, you know, for 5 minutes when you wake up every morning, just visualize in your mind, what are the things that you want in your life? How do you want to feel in your life? And just hold that vision for 5 minutes, you know, every morning when you wake up. And again, imagine the feeling that you already have it. So you're feeling joy, you're feeling excitement, you're feeling fulfillment. Because then in that way, your emotional body is matching then what your vision is, which is a like vibration, and then that's what you attract more of in your life. There's another exercise that actually specifically has to do with finances, which I think is really, really helpful. And this one, Esther and Jerry Hicks, who have a series of books called The Law of Attraction.
Okay.
They talk about this exercise in their book, Money and the Law of Attraction. And they talk about carrying around in your pocket a $100 bill, or it could be a $20 bill.
Okay.
But imagine a $100 bill, and in your mind, you times that, times however much you want. And so when you're walking around every day with this $100 bill in your pocket, to imagine all of the things that you could buy, and that you have this infinite money in your pocket to buy it. And what you're feeling as you imagine this and practice this is freedom, just a lightness and a freedom. And I have an abundance of money, so I could have that, and I could have that, and I deserve that, and I want that. And just the freedom that that would bring to practice that. And I think it's a brilliant, simple example of that's how you're thinking, that's how you're feeling in your life. And so you don't have to know where the money is going to come from. Just trust that. That's just what you have to focus on, and it'll start coming in. And I've actually practiced this kind of stuff in my own life, and you wouldn't believe how the IRS sends me a check for an extra refund that I get, or, you know, amazing things that never happen, that all of a sudden there's a check in the mail.
Right. That's such a positive mindset, and I love that. I really do, yeah. Instead of always feeling down and, you know, defeated all the time, here it's uplifting in life and goes on.
It's a much more fulfilled, better way of feeling in the world and being in the world than always feeling negative, which is such a heavy sort of burden, I think, on people. I think most people would like to feel lighter and fulfilled and joy in their life.
Yeah, to wake up every morning joyful and appreciative.
I would tell people that if they're having a hard time doing some of the practice, that they could come in for a session or a few sessions to look at what's blocking them.
Right.
So if they're not able to do that, if they're not able to feel any differently, or they're just feeling depressed, or they're just feeling anxious, or they just can't imagine their life being in any other way, then I think that's telling them that there's something that's blocking their ability to envision that, and they can release that. I mean, they don't have to spend the rest of their life feeling that way.
Right.
I think then it's just a matter of getting at the source of, so what's blocking them? So what's creating the symptoms?
You know, life, bring it on, you know, type of thing. And you want to just engage in it every day, whereas if you just are kind of going through the motions, you know, and another day, another this, and what a different mindset.
That's a good point, because I think a lot of people feel flat. You know, they feel sort of numb in their life, like they don't feel much.
Right.
And so again, I think that's telling them, that's a symptom that's telling them that there's something blocking them in their life. And so it's just a matter of uncovering what that is.